Welcome. Thank you for joining us. It's Monday, July 1st. You're watching News 2 on Via Channel 4 and 504. I'm Leslie Kamisiang. Topping our stories tonight, Bernard Cuffey appeared at the Superior Court today to further continue a dispute over an easement road that has taken on other implications that include race. 9 plaintiffs filed against Mr. Cuffey to stop him from clearing land that leads to his home. The plaintiffs say that Cuffey is trespassing and that he has no right to traverse on their properties.
Mr. Bernard Cuffey wants to clear a long-standing easement road to gain access to his property at number 38 Claremont, but his neighbors have used several tactics to stop him.
They have been calling the cops every time I show up to the property. If I try to clear the road to the property, I'm clearing a path to the property, they call the cops. When the cops come, I have to show the cops my deed, and then I have to show the cops my ID, and then in addition to that, I have to show them the map.
Mr. Cuffey has been assaulted by one of his neighbors, and although his neighbors have called the police on him several times, no action has been taken by the VIPD against his assailant.
I came up to the property. One of the sons of number 7 is actually trying to knock me down with his car. Of course, because he's out of place. He's out of place. Your son is out of place.
9 neighbors have filed a joint case stating that Mr. Cuffey should not trespass or traverse on their land. Mr. Cuffey believes that his neighbors are discriminating against him because of his race. All the plaintiffs are Caucasians, with the exception of one.
My neighbor, number 12, who is also African American, but they had him put his road at another angle. It's very, very difficult to get up here.
At the Superior Court today, Mr. McKenzie revealed that he was told not to use the easement road, but rolled back on his comments, and then informed the court that he chose to use an alternate route, which the courts highlighted could not be accessed by compact cars until 2 months ago, when he paved the road simultaneously when Mr. Cuffey's troubles began. McKenzie informed that a verbal land swap was provided between neighbors to give him access to an alternate route.
I think about a month ago he had it paved after a few years, maybe 15 years or so of struggles. But here is where his entrance was supposed to have been.
A St. Croix senator and several heads of local organizations were seen in the courtroom. The plaintiff's lawyer stated to Superior Court Judge Jomo Meade that Mr. Cuffey has initiated racial tension in the community by involving the media. However, there are written documents sent to Mr. Cuffey showcasing direct intimidation by the owners of Plot 6 who have realtor licenses.
What does it say to you about our community right now?
Our community is divided. It's divided. You know, there are people who just do not want us as black people to have anything. They don't think that we should have, and we should not have the same rights that they have. And that is the way I look at it.
For News 2, I'm Stephanie Shalana Brown.
We will have more on this case. As of news time, a verdict was not made. In a legislative budget hearing today with the Department of Public Works, Senator Alicia Barnes brought up the case. We will keep you updated. Last week, the Waste Management Authority reported that the fire that's been burning for more than a week at the Anguilla landfill on St. Croix has been extinguished. Apparently, it may not have been. On Sunday, Waste Management, along with other local agencies, responded to another active blaze in the same area. During a Sunday evening news conference, the Virgin Islands Waste Management Authority reported that the fire was reported at about 3 a.m. in the scrap metal section at the landfill. VI Fire Services, the Virgin Islands Waste Management Authority contractors, and personnel were on scene Sunday. In a statement, the Virgin Islands Waste Management Authority advised the public and all solid waste haulers that the St. Croix Transfer Station and Anguilla landfill are closed and will not accept municipal solid waste until further notice. According to the fire services, about 4 pieces of heavy equipment, vehicles, and tires were among the major items burned in the fire. The health department indicated that as of now, there are no immediate health concerns for the general public. Here's more from that press conference.
We tried to extinguish it initially, but met some resistance as far as the location and how high the vehicles were, so we had to back out. There were some explosions that were happening at the same time, so for safety of the personnel, we backed out and we continue to monitor. We are continuing to fight the fire. I can't give you a time within the next 12 hours, possibly, but we will continue to fight it throughout the night. We'll be here throughout the night. I'm not categorize it as anything until the fire marshal has given me a report.
We are the air pollution agency. EPA will be assisting us in this incident. They'll be arriving tomorrow morning. We send in 2 teams from Puerto Rico to assist us. We briefly and we set up a grid and identify different monitoring locations throughout the community. Information received by the 23rd CST, the Department of Health came to a conclusion that at this time there is no immediate health concerns to the general public, more likely in the Frederick State area. However, we notified the general public in the Frederick State area that if you have any symptoms of respiratory infection or any sort of that, to call 911 or to go seek medical attention at the hospital. The Wang Louis Hospital right now is aware of the situation and they have everything under control and measures in place to accommodate that situation if in fact residents have to go to the Wang Louis Hospital. An assessment was conducted in the Frederick State area about 4 o'clock this afternoon, and based on the fumes, we saw that the fumes are staying on the south side of the island. Again, there's no immediate health concerns at this time.
Meanwhile, the Virgin Islands Department of Education said that summer camps across the island will not be affected due to the excessive smoke coming from the landfill. Those programs started today, Monday, but the department will provide updates should there be changes that may affect the safety of students and school personnel. These programs include the STEM Across the Curriculum Summer Academy, the Summer Bridge Academy, and the Recovering Academics Through Credit Recovery. If you have any questions or concerns regarding the summer camps in the wake of the Anguilla landfill fire, you can visit the Department of Education's website at www.vide.vi or visit their Facebook page. Coming up next, St. John Festival events highlights, plus the VIA Motorcade celebrating the company's launch of new services when we return. From mid-morning to mid-afternoon this past Saturday, St. Croix and St. Thomas were treated to a musical motorcade courtesy of VIA. Led by the Virgin Islands Police Department, VIA vehicles took to the streets with infectious music, enthusiasm, and just good spirit by the VIA employees. To help celebrate the launching of VIA's new wireless plans, it was the first time an event like this was simultaneously celebrated on both St. Thomas and St. Croix, much to the delight of the public and VIA employees.
Really fun, and going out there made me realize that our community has not forgotten us. They have not given up on us. So that was very special to me. I really enjoyed today. Hope we could do it again.
Over the weekend, St. John celebrated its 65th year of Carnival with the opening of the Festival Village at the Cruise Bay parking lot. St. Jonians honored the members of the Volunteer Carnival Committee for giving their time, energy, and dedication throughout the years. This year, the village is named Membersville as a tribute to the Volunteer Committee. Performing at the event was the Love City Pan Dragons, led by local steel pan star Ronald Lee Jr. Pastor Carlisle Sampson gave the blessing, and Island Administrator Shakima Jones-Sprouse sang the Star-Spangled Banner and the Virgin Islands March. Delroy Ital Anthony, meanwhile, blew the conch shell in memory of the committee members who have passed away. Governor Albert Bryan Jr. and Lieutenant Governor Tregenza Roche graced the event along with First Lady Yolanda Bryan and a few senators. Carnival royalty, including the newly crowned Queen and Princess, were also present on stage. Next year, for the first time, the festival will be organized by the Virgin Islands Department of Tourism instead of the Volunteer Committee. Meanwhile, major festival events are coming up this week. On Wednesday, July 3rd, the Emancipation Day program will be held at 1 p.m. at the Cruise Bay parking lot. On Thursday, 3 events back-to-back, starting with the 2019 Juve at 4 a.m. Then the festival parades begin at 11 a.m. Get excited for the beautiful performances and costumes, great music, and that wonderful Virgin Islands energy and spirit. The parade on St. John features children and adults all in one parade. Then at 9 p.m. you can head over to the harbor to enjoy the fireworks. As the Virgin Islands enters hurricane season, the Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority wants to remind the public that in the event of a storm, down power lines are extremely dangerous, even deadly. At the Disaster Expo in St. Croix, WAPA representatives provided a demonstration how dangerous a downed power line can be. Here's more on that.
This demonstration displays how power is distributed to the home. And it's very important to us because we are in hurricane season. Hurricane season, 2 years ago we experienced 2 Cat 5 hurricanes and there's a lot of down power lines. So we asked a very simple question that's very powerful to people, which is what color are my power lines when our model is not energized, and what color are our power lines when the model is energized? And it's the same color. So we can go through now and show a down power line when it's not energized and see what's happened. So we tell people never ever touch down power lines. This is very important and powerful. As simple as it is, this is what can save you when the hurricanes come. We don't want them to come, but if they come, we have to know this. This example shows that the house right now doesn't have power and someone's able to touch the down power line, which is what we don't want. You always want to assume that the power line is energized. And if you notice, there's 2 sparks. There's a spark on the fence and then a spark on the ground. Current flows through a complete path. The complete path has a girl in it, so power is flowing through the girl. If you see a down power line, you have to simply call WAPA, call our hotline, and we'll address the situation. And if you don't know WAPA, just call 911. 911 will relay it to WAPA.
July 4th is the day Americans celebrate its independence. There are fireworks, food, music, and here in the territory, that day corresponds with the St. John Carnival. This year, there is a military branch competition taking place, and Bruce Flamond stopped by to give us all the details.
Next weekend, we are so excited. We have a fundraiser for the American Legion, and it's called Military Challenge. When you deployed overseas and to just make you a little more relaxed, and when you're in a war zone, the military comes up with different things to do on base. Military challenge. So here on St. Thomas, we're going to be doing a military challenge on July 5th and the 6th. We're going to have a talent show at Smoke and Rooster, and on Saturday, we're going to do bowling, table pool, and darts. And all of these events are going to have cash prizes and bragging rights for the entire year until we increase it even bigger next year. Anybody that's a military personnel, sign up. You can call our number at 340-513-4041. And even the Caribbean Cinema has joined in on this military weekend. They're offering any military person with a military ID plus 4 family members can go to the movies from Friday to Sunday at a kids rate, and that's awesome. So anybody who want to take your family to the movies, show your ID, and 4 family members get to go in at half price. I'm so excited. Next year, we're planning on bringing in an aircraft carrier so we could do an air show. Can you imagine an air show that's going to cover all 3 islands, all 4 islands, really, with Water Island? an air show. It'll be awesome. Military Appreciation Weekend fundraiser for the American Legion on St. Croix and St. Thomas.
There will be a free concert and culture fest on the green at Fort Christian in Christiansted on Emancipation Day, July 3rd. This is sponsored by radio station WSTX. The celebration begins at noon and features an all-female musical lineup, drum circle, mokajumbis, quadrille dancing, and more, according to Culture Fest organizer Josh Rames.
I really wanted to throw an event, and something that had major importance for the Virgin Islands, in St. Croix. We're WSTX, and I want to jump on anything historical, anything cultural, and vibe with the community. Starting at 1 is going to be our drum circle. Where I want to start every event off with a drum circle. After the drum circle, that's when we're going to have our first performance. We've got Elizabeth Watley coming on first, then Moko Jumbies for 15-25 minutes. Then we've got G. Eve coming in right after that, followed by the Widea cultural dancers doing our quadrille dancing. Gotta make sure that that's in there. Followed by Sharice King, beautiful voice. She was in the last performance as well. With Coral Fire right after that, and fire dancing. Followed up with Blackness and the Soul ID Meds band just to finish it off. Every single event that we do, we showcase the beauty of the Virgin Islands. Not just location. This time it's going to be at Fort Christian, the green at Fort Christian. July 3rd, starting at 12, free for the community, and come out and support.
This week, VIA, the parent company of TV2, will be joining the people of the Virgin Islands in commemorating Emancipation Day on July 3rd and Independence Day on July 4th. The Customer Experience Centers at Estate Diamond in St. Croix, Tutu Park in St. Thomas, and the Marketplace in St. John will be open on Wednesday, July 3rd, 2019. However, all VIA offices will be closed on Thursday, July 4th, and resume normal business hours on Friday, July 5th. If there are any issues with your service, including interruptions for cable TV, telephone, and internet services, you may call 777-VIA. That's 777-8492 between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Stick around, our News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.
Well, boy, have we had some beautiful sunsets lately, right? And that's because of Saharan dust high up in the atmosphere. No effect on us here on the ground, but it certainly gives us those beautiful oranges and pinks. And we're going to continue to see that for the next couple of days. Taking a look right now at the satellite and radar, not much going on. We are seeing a nice dry day. Could never rule out a very brief trade wind shower at times. Closer look shows you really not much going on here. Trade winds, they are feisty right now. They're pretty brisk, so you might notice a couple of wind gusts here. Taking a look at the Saharan dust, well, this is 8 o'clock p.m. moving forward, and it is just moving on in off of Africa, across the ocean and into the Caribbean. So again, beautiful sunsets should be expected for tomorrow. It's going to be hazy tonight because of that dust. 80 degrees for our low temperature. In St. John tomorrow, hazy sunshine at 88 degrees. St. Thomas also at 88 degrees. And St. Croix, a little warmer, 89 with hazy sunshine. Now, for the marine forecast, the trade winds, they are decreasing slightly. So it is going to be a better boating day tomorrow, 2 to 4 feet for the waves. Winds out of the east around 10 knots, and that's the same case for the Caribbean. 2 to 4 feet, winds out of the east around 10 knots. We don't have any advisories to talk about. Now, as far as the extended forecast, we'll see that hazy sunshine for another day or two, and then the atmosphere starts to clear out. We'll even see a shower around on Thursday. That's really going to clear things out. And then that pattern will continue through Saturday with mostly sunny skies, a chance of a stray shower. Temperatures will be hovering right around 88 to 89 degrees. Have a great night.
Thanks for that. Don't go away. Gary Anthony has News 2 Sports when we return.
I'm Gary Anthony, and this is News 2 Sports. Whoa! Talk about a spending spree. The NBA free agency frenzy hit the ground running Sunday at 6 p.m., and let me be the first to say they were throwing money around like it was going out of style. The Brooklyn Nets are the big winners, landing Kevin Durant on a max deal, 4 years, $164 million, and Kyrie Irving for 4 years at $141 million. Oh, and the Nets also signed big man DeAndre Jordan. These guys are stacked for a big run to win the Eastern Conference next year. The big losers are, surprise, surprise, my New York Knicks. The Knicks tanked big time this year at 17-65, hoping to land the number 1 pick in the NBA draft, strike 1, and hoping to sign Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, strikes 2 and 3, and you are out. The Knicks did sign power forward Julius Randle to a 3-year, $63 million deal. Yeah, how you doing? We will take a bigger look at the free agent moves later this week. And in a big upset at Wimbledon, 15-year-old Coco Gauff took down 5-time Wimbledon champion Venus Williams in straight sets, 6-4, 6-4. Gauff from Delroy Beach, Florida, was not even born when the 39-year-old Williams won 4 of her 7 Grand Slam titles. I guess you could say youth was served. Ouch. That's it for sports. Leslie, back to you.
Thank you for that, and that's it for our show tonight. We're live on Facebook and YouTube and on via Channel 4 and 504 Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. Follow us on social media, tag us on any stories you want to see, or send us a message on Messenger. You can also email us at newsdirector@tv2.vi. Thanks again for joining us on News 2. I'm Leslie Camisiang. We'll see you next time.